Your resume gleaming, your accomplishments stacked high like trophies on a shelf, and yet feeling an inexplicable emptiness gnawing at your soul. We live in a world obsessed with recognition, validation, and the constant need to remind others of what we've done. Social media has turned us into walking billboards of our own achievements, desperately seeking the dopamine hit of likes and comments. But what if I told you that the very mindset keeping you trapped in this cycle of seeking validation is the same mindset blocking you from receiving the abundance you truly deserve? What if the secret to getting everything isn't in broadcasting what you've done, but in genuinely believing you've done nothing at all? This powerful teaching from the Quran dismantles the toxic mindset of entitlement that infects even the most well-intentioned among us. When you're engaged in meaningful work, whether it's calling people to truth, building something valuable, or serving your community, there's an insidious trap waiting for you. The trap isn't in the work itself, but in how you perceive your contribution to it. Allah warns against thinking you've done anyone a favor, against believing your efforts are somehow exceptional enough to deserve special recognition. This isn't just about humility, for humility's sake. This is about understanding the fundamental reality of who we are in relation to the divine. When Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, built the Kaaba after passing the most difficult test imaginable, accomplishing what no one else could, his response wasn't pride or expectation of reward. Instead, he turned to Allah and said, "Please accept this from us. We don't know if this was good enough." This is a man who did something that billions of people benefit from every single day, through their prayers and pilgrimages, yet he stood there hoping Allah would find it acceptable. The lesson cuts deep because it exposes our relationship with our own deeds. We live in an era where people measure their worth by their output, where entrepreneurs brag about grinding 18-hour days, where religious figures count their followers and speaking engagements as proof of divine favor. But this teaching flips that entire paradigm upside down. Don't do favors hoping for more in return. When you gain influence, when people start listening to you, when your work begins to matter, you'll be tempted to leverage that influence for personal gain. Companies will approach athletes to endorse their products not out of genuine belief, but because there is money to be made on both sides. It's transactional. The person asks themselves, what am I going to get out of this? But when your motivation becomes what you can extract rather than what you can contribute, you've already lost the plot. Your position was never meant to be a bargaining chip for personal advancement.
Even more dangerous is the mindset that tells you that people owe you something because of what you've done for them. You made videos, you gave lectures, you spent time and energy helping others, and now you sit back expecting gratitude, expecting reciprocation, expecting recognition. This is spiritual poison masquerading as righteousness. Nobody owes you anything. Not the people you served, not the community you contributed to, not even Allah himself. This sounds harsh to modern ears, trained to believe that effort equals entitlement, that hard work guarantees reward, that investment demands return. But the reality being taught here is that your good deeds aren't currency to be cashed in. They're not leverage to be used. They're not deposits in a bank where you can demand withdrawals whenever you feel like it. The third layer goes even deeper. Don't consider your deeds a favor to Allah, as if God somehow needs your contribution, as if the creator of the universe benefits from your prayers, or your charitable work, or your missionary efforts. People fall into this trap constantly. They think because they've done so much for the religion, because they've sacrificed time and money and comfort, that Allah somehow owes them. They pray with an attitude of transaction. I've done all this, so where's my reward? Why isn't Allah helping me? I've earned paradise, and it better be massive, because look at everything I've accomplished. This is the height of delusion. When Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, found himself in prison and two people came to him asking about their dreams, he used that moment to invite them to the truth. And what did he say? He called it a favor from Allah upon him, not a favor he was doing for them or for Allah. The opportunity to call people to truth, to contribute something meaningful, to be part of something larger than yourself, that's the gift. You're not doing anyone a favor. You're being given the privilege of participation. There is a story shared in this teaching about a hiring manager in Silicon Valley who runs a company worth hundreds of millions of dollars with a tiny, elite team. When people come in for interviews and spend the entire time listing their credentials, their past achievements, their degrees, and projects and leadership positions, the interview is over before it begins. Why? Because those people are impressed with themselves. They're sitting on top of the mountain of what they've accomplished, looking back at their trail with satisfaction. But the people who get hired are different. They come in talking about what they want to do, what they haven't accomplished yet, what excites them about the future. They're not interested in past glory. They're hungry for what's ahead. They haven't done enough, and they know it. This is the mindset of someone who understands that whatever you've accomplished is already in the past, already done, already irrelevant compared to what remains to be done. You don't have time to remind people of your achievements when you read genuinely focused on what you haven't yet achieved. Apply this to your spiritual life, to your work in calling people to truth, to your contributions to your community. If your mental energy is consumed with tallying up everything you've done, making sure people remember it, making sure you get credit for it, then you've already weakened your resolve. You've already started to discontinue the real work. Because the second meaning of this teaching is about not becoming weak, not quitting, not discontinuing your efforts just because you think you've already done enough. In business, you might work brutal hours for years until the company takes off, and then you coast, letting the systems run themselves while you enjoy the fruits of past labor. But spiritual work doesn't function that way. You don't get to retire from prayer because you've prayed enough. You don't get to take a 6-month break from calling people to truth because you've already given enough lectures. This work doesn't have a finish line where you can stop and congratulate yourself on a job well done.
Allah places prayer and calling to truth side by side intentionally. The same attitude you have toward prayer should be the attitude you have toward inviting people to the truth. You pray on good days and bad days, when you're sick and when you're healthy, when the weather's terrible and when it's perfect, when you're motivated and when you're exhausted. Prayer doesn't change based on external circumstances or internal feelings. It's a constant. And calling people to truth, contributing to your community, doing meaningful work that should operate on the same principle. You don't weaken in your commitment just because you think you've done a lot. You don't develop a sense of entitlement where you start doing less, but still expect to hold on to your position and its benefits. You keep going regardless of results, regardless of recognition, regardless of how you feel about it. The teaching also addresses something profoundly important about staying offensive with the truth. The Quran was offensive to the elite of Mecca. It challenged power structures, exposed corruption, warned of consequences. Warnings are offensive, especially to people engaged in wrongdoing, and the instruction is clear. Don't stop being offensive. If the Quran is offensive, remain offensive. Don't soften the message to make it more palatable. Don't hide certain parts of the truth because they might turn people away. Don't cater your message to the preferences of the audience, calculating what will bring in more numbers. When you do that, you've made public opinion your God. You've made algorithms and likability metrics your object of worship. Who needs physical idols when you have social media engagement rates dictating what you say and how you say it? The truth doesn't change based on who's listening. You do discontinue talking about difficult topics because you were hoping more people will join if you hide the challenging parts. But here's where the teaching becomes truly transformative. If you never let it enter your head that you've done anyone a favor, if you always think you haven't done enough or you've done very little, Allah guarantees He will give you a lot. It's almost formulaic. If you think you've done a lot, Allah won't give you more. When you genuinely believe you've done nothing, Allah gives you everything. When you maintain the mindset that you haven't done enough, Allah keeps giving you more and more and more. This isn't about false humility or fishing for compliments. This is about the genuine internal state of recognizing that whatever you've contributed is infinitesimally small compared to what could be done, compared to what needs to be done, compared to the vastness of what Allah gives you every single day just by keeping you alive and functional. Don't weaken in your commitment. And don't become depressed because you're not seeing results. If Allah sees that you didn't stop, that you kept going regardless of outcomes, then He will give you a lot, and that abundance could manifest in this life or the next, or both. But here's the critical shift. You stop being concerned with results. Your motivation can't be tied to whether people accept what you're offering. When you pray with 1,000 people versus when you pray alone, did you still pray? Did Allah still record it? Yes. So when you recalling people the truth, and there are 1,000 people listening versus one person versus that one person walking away mid-conversation, did you do your part? If you did, then don't become weak looking at the results. Keep doing your part, just like prayer. Prayer doesn't fluctuate based on circumstances. Calling the truth shouldn't either.
This completely overhauls our understanding of motivation. Most people are driven by results. If a project gets appreciation, they're motivated to continue. If it doesn't, they want to quit. Companies expand departments that show sales growth and shut down ventures that don't generate interest. But Allah is presenting a different model entirely through the example of Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, who maintained the same commitment, the same motivation, the same drive for 950 years with no progress charts, no metrics showing growth, no conversion numbers to celebrate. What motivates you when results aren't your metric? When growth and acceptance aren't what drive you? The answer is the glorification of Allah itself. Just as prayer is an accomplishment by itself regardless of external factors, declaring the greatness of Allah and calling people to truth is an accomplishment by itself. Your motivation becomes, did I please Allah? Did I do what Allah wants? Was I truthful to His word? If yes, that's enough. You're complete. This is what it truly means when we say Allah is greater. No other motivation replaces the motivation of pleasing the divine. Not results, not recognition, not growth metrics, not follower counts, not book sales, not speaking invitations. Just a simple question. Was I truthful to what Allah revealed? That becomes sufficient. There is a beautiful sentiment expressed in this teaching about finishing a major project and the first feeling being a prayer. Please, Allah, accept this. Please take some of this and give me credit for it because I'm flawed, I'm weak, I'm sinful, and there are people who will benefit from this, who are far better than me, who will do far more good than I ever could. And I need the commission from their good deeds because my own account is lacking. This is the mindset shift being demanded. Not look at what I accomplished, but please let this be acceptable despite my inadequacy. The linguistic nuance adds another layer. The word used in the original text belongs to a morphological pattern that carries three implications. Asking for something, wanting something, trying for something. So it could mean asking for a lot, wanting a lot, trying for a lot. It also carries the meaning of hyperbole, indicating something massive or abundant. And it means considering something to be a lot. All three meanings work within this single instruction. Don't do favors hoping for abundance. Don't seek more, and Allah guarantees you'll get more. Don't consider your deeds to be substantial, and you'll receive substantial reward from Allah. It's paradoxical to the transactional mind, but perfectly sensible to the heart aligned with truth. Your mindset has to be one of not expecting, and that's precisely when Allah gives. When you genuinely believe you haven't done enough, when you don't sit around reminding people of your contributions, when you don't leverage your past, work for future benefits, when you don't think anyone owes you anything, including God Himself, that's when abundance flows. Not because you earned it through your mindset, but because your mindset reflects the reality of your relationship with the divine, and that reality is what opens the door to blessing.